Yeah.
And I just kind of looked over and I said, I wonder. And I saw a weed. So I peed on the weed and like
No
within
way.
hours it was dead.
No way. Okay. And it's just the radiation of it all, like
But yeah, so it's the
chemical?
leftover chemo chemicals, yeah, in my body.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm a weed killer.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms recorded from my home bathroom. I'm your host, Hunter Hoover, and I love bathrooms. And I am joined this episode via the internet across, I think, some time zones by Keyton Blocher. Did I get the last name right?
Yes, yeah, it's Blocher. Yeah.
Yeah. And Keyton, I'm going to let you tell your story, but the short version is you have a cancer diagnosis and
Yes.
have had a lot of tribulation, I would say, in the last few years. So, Keaton, I'm going to let you kind of introduce yourself further. Tell folks what you want them, a listener to a bathroom podcast, to know about you.
Okay. Well, so my name's Keyton Blocher, like you said. I'm 26 years old. I'm married to my wife, Jessica Blocher, formerly Jessica Krupp. And she and I have been married for 6 years. We'll be 7 this next year.
Wow.
We have a 3-year-old son. His name is Rex.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the reason I started the Legacy Dad stuff was to inform people about some of the things that come up when you're dealing with cancer and just ways that people can help people that are going through cancer. And I also wanted to, it's been a good outlet for me also.
Yeah.
It's helped me stay positive, and that's kind of one of my mantras is, being positive when everybody else wouldn't be.
Right.
And so far it's worked out for me because it has, it's opened a lot of doors, like
Yeah.
a lot of doors. It's been kind
Yeah.
of crazy, actually. The Lord's been doing some pretty crazy stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, and share as much or as little as you want about this, but what is the cancer diagnosis, stage, and just to give, like, I know a bit just because I've interacted kind of vicariously through the internet via Legacy Dad and your other social media stuff. But yeah, where are you at in the journey? That is whatever that would be.
Yeah, so I'll kind of go back a little bit more towards the beginning and just kind of explain through some of it. So when I was born with a heart condition.
Okay.
So I have what's called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. So only the right side of my heart functions. The left side is completely dead. And the right side has been reconstructed. They put 2 artificial chambers in my heart and rerouted everything. So I'm a single ventricle heart. So
Wow.
my one side pumps and does everything that both sides are supposed to do. So that was like the kind of the start of my life was weird medical stuff. And my entire life I've kind of been a gray area is what all my doctors and my parents have always called it. My entire childhood was you're just kind of a gray area. So I am probably in my personal cardiologist growing up in his office. I was his patient that had the least amount of like ancillary issues with the heart condition. And I was actually one of his best functioning patients as well growing up. And so when Jessica and I got married, shortly after that, she joined the Air Force. And so we ended up moving from Oregon to Mississippi, which is where we live now, northeastern Mississippi.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So we're about an hour south of Tupelo, which is where Elvis was born.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So there's some pretty cool stuff here. And we had been here literally a year before I got my cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
So
And so to ask a couple questions, like growing up with significant heart defect, like what was that like experientially, like the things that you, like, as you look back, you're like, oh man, like this was different for me versus maybe other kids. What were some of the things that were clear indicators of that?
So I couldn't play as long as a kid. I had to take more breaks because I had poor oxygen circulation in my blood because of my heart condition. If I was playing too hard or got too cold too fast, my lips would turn purple.
Okay.
So that was kind of one of my telltale, like, ooh, I'm tired. I need to go sit down. But I was never like, I don't know. I kept up with my friends growing up, but
Yeah.
like it was extra work for me to keep up, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of took it on personally to just kind of be like, you know what? It's not going to affect me. I'm going to push through it and
Yeah.
I'm going to make it look like I never have anything wrong with me. And
Yeah.
I've been told a lot of times by folks that they were like, well, if I would have seen you just on the street, I would have never known.
Right.
So, and
Right.
that's kind of what I go for my goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, life was different as a child, definitely with a heart condition. Everybody kind of, when you fell down, it was a little bit bigger of a deal.
Mhm.
Every time I ended up in the doctor's office or the ER or anything like that as a kid or growing up as a teenager, I always had to get an EKG and an
Okay.
ultrasound and an echocardiogram and just like all these different tests just because of my heart condition. It was
Right.
like, and I walk through the door and they're like, you need this, 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 and this. Like, it was a
Man.
myriad of testing and blood work and all sorts of stuff every single time I was at the doctor. So,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah.
And, like, was that, I'm trying to figure out the right way to ask this, but like when people would react in that way, whether it's, you fall or whatever that is, was that more difficult? Like, when did you become aware that people kind of reacted differently?
So I kind of figured out around like fourth or fifth grade that people were treating me different.
Yeah.
And it was more so my teachers than it was like my peers because we were young kids and they didn't
Yeah.
really understand too much.
Yeah. They're like, come on, man, let's go.
Yeah, they're like, dude, gosh, you're so tired. You're out of shape. Come on, let's go. And I'm like, no, I'm just don't. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. You're
Like,
like, why don't you give it a try, buddy?
yeah, for real. So, but yeah, around fourth or fifth grade is
Yeah.
kind of when I noticed people starting to, I guess, treat me different.
Yeah.
But my family, they tried to, as hard as possible, like make it everything normal for me.
Hmm.
I got to do all the extracurricular activities I wanted, besides
Yeah.
football. I was never allowed to play football, which may have been a good thing just because
Yeah.
tackle sports are a lot harder on your body. So,
Yeah.
but I did all the things. I played baseball, soccer, basketball. I was a fencer, actually. I did fencing
Okay.
in end of middle school all the way through high school. I did it for about 6 years.
Did you do that as part of the school? Like, did the school have that as an activity for you to do, or?
No, so I did it
Okay.
privately.
Okay.
My instructor was actually a guy who had taught a few of the Olympians for Team
Oh, wow.
USA that did fencing. Yeah. So,
Holy cow.
yeah, he was really good at fencing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I did that and I didn't like compete or anything really too much with it, but that kind of stopped around who I'd say sophomore year of high school
Hmm.
because I had joined choir in high school and that took up a majority of my time. As a freshman, I got into the chamber choir, which you had to try out for. And
Yeah.
then as a sophomore, is it was very rare at the time for a sophomore to get into the a cappella group, but I got into the a cappella program as
Yeah.
well. And so by my senior year, I was the president of the choir program.
Wow.
And so I just I made choir like my thing in high school. That and drama. I used to act a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had fun and I did different, I guess you would say, activities than most
Yeah.
people, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I danced, and that's pretty strenuous
Yeah.
because we did musicals and things like that. So I had to do like the waltz and the dolly polka and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Man,
yeah.
was this public high school?
Yeah, yeah. So down in Roseburg, Oregon, it was Roseburg High
Roseburg.
School.
Yes. I'm an Oregon transplant. So I grew up in Montana,
Okay.
and then I came out here in 2012 to go to college, went to college, never really left. And so like all the burgs, Roseburg, Newburgh, it's always fascinating, but like, yeah, it's a cool place to I don't know, it's a strange thing. Like politically it's weird, but it's such a beautiful state.
Yeah.
And then like you look around and you're like, what is going on though? Like, how do we have all this and we're just not happy with so much?
Mm,
Because like now I'm in Albany and it's like It's fine. They call it Small Albany for a reason,
Yeah.
But before you went to Mississippi, had you ever been to the South at all?
So yeah, earlier on in Jess and I's marriage, we went on a missions trip to South Carolina, and we
Okay.
helped like rework a church property for African Christian Fellowship International.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so and I had been on a couple of missions trips. Like as a teenager, I went down to La Mission, Mexico, and helped build an
Mhm.
orphanage down there, and
Mhm.
did some fun stuff there. And then I did a night strike in Portland a few times.
What is that?
That is where they take over underneath one of the big bridges in Portland, and
Uh-huh.
they just set up tables. They bring a trailer out, and they give out donated clothes to homeless. They feed
Oh,
them.
that's cool.
They have
Yeah.
like hairstylists that will volunteer their time to give haircuts. They have nail salon people that will come out, and if they're a female or like a kid, they'll paint their nails. And then they had like churches that would come out and feed. And
Yeah.
then what we did was we just played card games with everybody while they ate
That's
and
awesome.
asked them questions, asked them if they needed anything question wise about the Lord that they needed answered and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that
Yeah,
was pretty
and
fun.
yeah, no, I mean, it sounds fun. It also sounds like, I don't know, Portland has kind of increasingly got worse and worse and more dangerous in that specific area. And so
Yeah.
like it could also be a little harrowing, I imagine, especially, the younger you are, but that's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I was
We
going to
got,
ask, you've mentioned your faith a couple times.
yes.
When did that, and it's weird cuz like I do another show that's more faith-based than a thing about bathrooms. But when did, your faith kind of become a reality and a thing that you had as like a key part of your life?
So I would say I got baptized when I was like 12, I
Mhm.
think, by my grandfather. And I would say, I kind of had that kid relationship with God up until about, I'd say 15, 16.
Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of really where I kind of hit a point where I was like, oh, I either need to take this seriously or not at all.
Hmm.
And because if I'm not taking it seriously, it's basically not even doing anything.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, I ended up going to Bible college over in Idaho, which is where I
Boise?
met, yes, Boise Bible College.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's where Jessica and I met.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were on the same worship team together. So that's how we met.
Okay, so this is actually fascinating. So weird happenstance. Like I was I was I was Jess's youth/young adult leader for like
Hmm.
a minute. Truly, she came in as a senior,
Like in and out.
was like, "Hey, what's up? I think board games are cool. I'm heading out to Boise Bible College." And I'm like, "Great, come to these events." I went to like her graduation thing, and then she was off to college. And so I guess it's fascinating that y'all met at Boise, but we're like so close over here. You guys
Yeah.
had you ever crossed paths over here at all?
Yes, and we didn't
Okay.
know. So what we talked about was I was like, "Oh yeah, I was at this," or like I was at CIY, or I
Yeah.
was at like this Brad Paisley concert, and she was like, "Well, I was there too," and I was like, "What?" Like it was just kind of a cool happenstance thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Roseburg and Brownsville are an hour and a half away from each other.
Right.
Like there's a lot of big events, Corvallis, all that kind of area that I went
Yeah.
to that she was at too. That we
Wild.
never ran into each other until college.
Yeah.
She
Oh
says
my
it's good
gosh.
because I wouldn't have liked her before college, and she would not have liked me as a douchey teenager. So
Dude, my wife and I have had that exact conversation. It's like we would have hated each other in high school.
yeah,
I gave off a pretty I am going to look for the thing that irritates you vibe and then push that button continuously, and my wife has 6 siblings and didn't have time for that. So,
wouldn't put up with it for you, huh?
no. Yeah. Yeah, she sorted that out in me pretty quick, but no, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And so, how has like receiving this cancer diagnosis and all of the heart stuff that you go, and I imagine those 2 things, meeting is not great.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and share like how does that worsen it?
So, well, I'll kind of talk about the things that I started to notice before I got diagnosed.
Yes. Yeah.
because that to me is something that's super important. So I woke up one morning and like there, this spot where like your leg bends into your hip,
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
by your thighs, that was swollen. And I was like, this is weird. I wonder what's going on. And so, my son was about to be born in like 2 months, and I was like, I don't need to go to the doctor. I'm fine. I'm not feeling sick. It's just swollen. Maybe it's just fat. Maybe I'm getting fat. Like, I was like, I'm heavier than I've ever been. I put on sympathy weight when Jess was pregnant, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm just getting bigger, and that's where the fat's gonna come out right there. I don't know. Maybe I have a weird spot. And so I went on for a couple months like that where I was like, okay, this swelling's not going away. And I was like, but then again, I could be getting fat, so maybe it's just me. And then we ended up, there was one night where I was driving after our son Rex was born. We were on our way home from grocery shopping, and I looked at my wife and I said, I haven't felt good all day. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm running a fever. It was like I'd go outside, stand in the sun, then it'd get too hot, then I'd go inside. And as soon as I walked inside, I was too cold. So I'd go back outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. I just don't feel good. And she's like, oh, that's weird. And then I was like, 30 seconds went by and I said, I need to pull over. I'm going to pass out. You need to drive.
Hmm.
And so we went straight to the urgent care,
Yeah.
and I had 104-degree fever.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So it was pretty like quick like that. And previously, so for the last few months before that, I had been coughing a lot. We actually came back to visit with our 2-month-old son in February to Oregon to go visit family and see people that haven't made it out to Mississippi to see us. And I was coughing the whole time we were there, and everybody's like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I don't, maybe we're just accustomed to Mississippi and like it's not as humid or something weird, or, it's Lynn County, it's grass seed capital of the world, allergies, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't think anything of it. And then when that fever thing happened after our Oregon trip, we were like, okay, well, we should probably check into that.
Yeah.
And they said, well, there is some stuff going around. It's not COVID. It's not like a flu, but it's like a virus, that we've been seeing where people are coughing and having high fevers. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just need an antibiotic.
Right.
And so what they did was they put me on an antibiotic, and then a month went by and nothing changed. And so they were like, okay, let's get you an ultrasound because of the swollen spot. And so they ultrasound it, and she's like, well, it looks like you could have an infection in your lymph nodes. And I was like, okay, never heard of that, but I guess it could happen because you're saying that it's a thing. And so, I was like, I'm not a doctor.
I'll take your word for it. No.
Yeah. And so we waited a while, and they were like, sometimes it's going to go away on their own. And so it was April, and I was like, I'm still not getting better. Like, what is going on? And then they were like, well, is that spot still swollen? And I said, yeah. And they said, okay, come on in. We're going to get a biopsy of it. We're going to take a needle, and we're going to go down in and take a sample of the tissue and pull it out. Yeah.
Yo, I'm not a big fan of needles. I know it's like a stupid complaint for me, but like, woo, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I don't like them either. I've had to deal with them way too much.
Yeah.
But so they did the needle biopsy, and the initial one came back inconclusive. And they were like, okay, we have to have a yes or no. And so they did another one. And that one, they didn't get enough samples. And so I went back a third time, and they did what's called an incisional biopsy, where they just cut it open and remove a larger chunk so they make sure they have enough. So by the third biopsy, we finally got some answers. I was at work that day, and my phone rang, and I was like, oh, it's a doctor's office. So I like stepped out the back door out at work, and I worked at a hardware store. I was a sales and marketing manager.
Okay.
For a hardware company. And so I step out the back door, and the doctor goes, hey, so we got your results back. And it was a military doctor. So, sometimes they don't have the best bedside manner. And he was like, you have cancer. Just like that. Like that was it. And I was like,
just really dropped it.
What do you mean? And he was like, well, so we think you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Okay. And he was like, but the way yours presents, it could be classical Hodgkin's. And he was like, the difference between those two is non-Hodgkin's is not aggressive. Hodgkin's is the most aggressive out of that family.
Yeah.
And so we did another biopsy to narrow it down, and it was classical Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 3.
Man.
They said when they found it based on the size after I did my PET scan to show like where all the cancer was, they said, "You probably had this for a year
Whoa.
and you just didn't know." And I was like, how does that even happen? Like, I just didn't know anything
Right.
about cancer. I knew my aunt had had breast cancer. Like, that was about
Right.
as far as my knowledge had gone with cancer. And so my first phone call after that was Jess, my wife. I called her and I said, "Hey, I'm going to come home. You and I need to talk. I got a call back from the doctor." And I was like, "They said it's cancerous, but I want to talk to you." And so, she rushed home. I rushed home. My boss was like, "Yeah, just take the day."
Yeah.
He was like, "Don't come back."
You're good.
Yeah. And I was like, "Well, thank you." So I went back home and we talked about it. And it just kind of felt like our life just kind of blew up right there.
Yeah.
Like in the matter of minutes, it was like, okay, what's
Wow.
our next move? And one of the crazy things that nobody really talks about with cancer is all of the waiting
Mm.
that you have to do. So I got my diagnosis, and then it was a whole month before I started any treatments.
Wow. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
so yeah, you have to it's a long process. And so I did the first round of chemo that I did was every other week, and I did that for a little over a year.
Wow.
And those infusions were about 8 hours long. I'd get there in the morning when the place would
Wow.
open, and I was usually the last person to leave, other
Oh
than the
my
nurses.
goodness.
Yeah, and so that kinda leads into your question about the complexity that the heart condition and the cancer add to each other.
Yeah.
So because of the heart condition, ever since the beginning, all of the different doctors have been scared to
Mm.
do something because they don't know what they can do, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
Because they don't know. They're like, "Well, if you have a normal heart, we know how much tolerance you'll have for this medication that's toxic to your heart. But with you, we have no idea." So we
Mm.
skirted around that option as much as we could. We tried, just the side medications that came with the red one. They call it the Red Devil.
Mm.
And so we did a year of that, and then it went away. And we were excited. I rang the bell. I got a certificate for finishing chemo. We thought I was cancer free. It was over. 45 days later, it came back.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so they said because I wasn't in remission for more than 3 months, they don't consider it full remission. So it came back and they said, "Okay, well, now we're not 100% sure what to do, but what we're going to do is we're going to do the lowest dose at the slowest speed of the red medication."
Yeah. Wow.
And I lost all my hair, went bald, had no facial hair, all my chest hair fell out, like everything.
Wow.
Eyebrows were gone, like everything just left.
Yeah.
And so we went from that to, okay, it's getting smaller, but we're not sure what we're going to do to get it to go away for cure. Because at that point, they were shooting for cure.
Mhm.
And so I went to MD Anderson over in Houston, Texas, and they took all my case. The head of the lymphoma department took all my case
Wow.
and said, "I'm going to talk to some colleagues of mine and we'll see what we can figure out." And then about, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks after that trip to Texas and back, he calls me. He goes, "So I hate to call you a case because you're my patient." And he goes, "But you're the first case recorded in history of these two together."
That's crazy.
He was like, "I talked to all my colleagues. We tried to reference everything we could. We tried keyword searching, all of the everything on medical journals, everything." He was like, "We can't find anything about how to deal with this, with your heart condition and this cancer." And so he goes, "Everything that we do is going to just be throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if it sticks." Because he was like, "Obviously, we
Wow.
don't want to hurt you, but we also don't want the cancer to be what is the end."
Right.
And so I did radiation treatment, which I had to do at MD Anderson because of my organs being different. With my heart condition,
Mm.
it caused my liver to be enlarged, and I have an enlarged spleen. which that's a normal thing for somebody with my heart condition.
Okay.
And so, but that makes shooting radiation beams into your body a little harder when things are bigger than they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so what we did was a month before radiation, I went down to Texas and they put me on this big machine and they scanned my body, like 3D scanned everything. And then they spent a month practicing on the scan on the computer to do the radiation for me before I even
Wow.
laid on the table. They were working on it for a month.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been a lot of firsts for a lot of people
Yeah.
that have been near me with this, and doctors especially. So we did radiation, and surprisingly, radiation ended up making me feel better when I got back home. I'm normally like 150 to 175 pounds. When I got home from radiation, I was 123.
Woof. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that was actually one of the initial signs too that I was getting sick. I lost 40 pounds in a
Oh my
month.
gosh.
Yeah. So it was
In a
30
month?
days. Yeah, it was 30 days and I lost 4 pounds. 40
Holy
pounds.
cow.
Sorry. Yeah. So, weight has been a big fluctuating thing with me. But
Mhm.
so they did radiation treatment and we waited a little while and then we got another PET scan and it was gone again.
Hmm.
And we were
Okay.
excited, but we were like also kind of waiting a bated breath, like, okay, what's going on? And then 3 months later, it was back. So now we're on fight number 3.
Yeah.
And in July, they said, hey, we've kind of run out of options as far as what we can keep trying. And so they said, we're going to put you on what we like to call a palliative chemo or a maintenance chemo. And they said, realistically, probably about 2 to 5 years. They said, if everything goes well and you respond to treatment and the tumors shrink and things go great, they said, we could see 10, maybe 15. But so
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at currently. Is
Yeah.
I'm going through chemo every 4 weeks now. My
Man.
infusions are only half a day now,
I
which
was
is
gonna ask
great.
if they're still 8 hours.
No, no, they're not. Um, and we're just kind of preparing for the reality and praying for a miracle at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
that's where we've ended up, and that's kind of the journey story of how we got to where we're at now. So there's
Yeah.
been a lot of emotional up and downs and physical up and downs and hospital visits and like this last in October, I was in the hospital for a little over a week and I
Mhm.
ended up getting put on the BiPAP breathing machine for 2 straight days because I just stopped breathing.
Wow.
And it was mainly when I fell asleep, I would just stop breathing.
Hmm.
And so they thought they were going to lose me twice. So
Yeah.
I've been this close.
Yeah. Well, and I know, like, we've been in conversations for this episode for some time, and that's
Hmm.
kind of why I kind of, it's one of those where I've kind of been waiting in the wind, mostly because I know that you've got not just a lot going on with your health, but also a lot going on with family and making time count. I'm sure
Hmm.
that that's a high, like, factored component. And then also, seeing these updates from Jess and others about your hospital trip in October, it's just like I'm sitting here going, you know what? I'm hunkering down and praying. Like
Mm,
that's we're not worried about scheduling. That's why when you sent me that, I'm like, I'm going. If he's going, I'm going. So,
yeah.
dude, thank you for sharing all of that. I know that's probably heavy.
Yeah.
I know you've shared it probably a few times now, but does it get more or less easy to share every time you do?
So I think that I'm a different kind of animal when it comes to that, just because I grew up with a medical condition. And
Mm,
so to me, that's just kind of a normal thing for me to
yeah.
have a lot of information about. And when people are curious, I just tell them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it is pretty heavy. I tell some of my friends, like, if I don't keep busy, then I go crazy. And
I get that.
I
Yeah.
have to I saw a thing one time that was basically this guy was like, in the morning when I wake up, I pray and I ask God, please get in my head before I do.
Yeah.
And so I've had to try to kind of take that kind of an attitude towards every day, because
Right.
if I start off going, oh, what are we gonna do? Then it's like spiral.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
How has your faith played a role throughout the cancer diagnosis and all this treatment and
Yeah, so at the beginning, I was really angry,
Yeah.
was really confused, and I just was very upset. I was like, like, what did I do? Like, why do I deserve this? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
was there something I did that could have prevented this? Was there, I went through all of the things.
Right.
I went through the denial, I went through the blaming God, I went through the
Yeah.
blaming other people, I went through the,
Right.
all of it. And I went, all the robot chicken giraffe video, the whole thing. Little throwback there for anybody that's seen that one. It's just one of those things that when you're in you just kind of become numb, if that makes any
Mm.
sense.
Yeah.
There's still some things that, like, if somebody says something the wrong way, sometimes it'll catch me off guard and like hurt my feelings a little bit. But I've had to consistently tell myself, because of my faith, God didn't make people to wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to ruin that guy's day.
Right.
And
Right.
so I need to just take it into account that everybody's in their own world and they may not be noticing me, and that's okay.
Right.
Which is a
Man,
hard one to adapt
that's
with
tough.
cancer on board,
Yeah.
because it's kind of like, but it feels like the world's against me because it's very isolating.
Yeah.
Even like within my family group, like, people are like, "Oh, I get it, I understand." And I'm like, "No, you don't."
Right.
Like, you just don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had family members tell me that their hurt knee, they understand my pain because I have a hurt knee, or I have So
Yeah.
it's there's some
That's why
things that you
that's
deal
why
with.
I'm like, I don't like needles, but I'm gonna try to shut up about it because and that's like I shared kind of before is I've also learned a lot just kind of seeing your updates and the things you post because my grandmother had cancer, but she was much older.
Yeah.
And my uncle right now has cancer and he's also got diabetes and it's like he's also older. And so like a lot of their care was, it's like, well, we're going to see what we can do, but it's so different. And that's why I'm learning like and I was so young with my grandmother that I saw you like going in for a transfusion and I went, I guess I thought that chemo was like the radiation. I didn't really put that together that like chemo was a thing that is pumped into or I
Yeah.
was like learning. I'm like, okay, this is something else. So
Yeah. It's
yeah.
actually really interesting. So my first chemo treatment I started was just like a regular IV, like when you go to the ER.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after about a month of treatment, it started to burn my veins, the medication.
Oh my gosh.
And so we went in and I had a surgery and I got this guy put in. Right now there's a Band-Aid on it, but it's
Yeah.
called a port. And
Yeah.
it's like a little bump under my skin that goes straight into my heart artery and
Whoa, dude, that's like
distributes
Iron Man.
distributes the medication like throughout my body like that.
Whoa. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that it doesn't like damage my veins, blow my veins out, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man. Wow. So I will admit, because I want to take like jump into this
Yeah.
moderately slow, but I do have bathroom related questions too.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, no problem.
And I don't ask these and listener, if you're hearing this, it's like, for goodness sakes, Hunter, like the man's telling you his story and he's getting ready to jump in with his bathroom. But like I have just too much curiosity of and you're very open and transparent with this, which is one of the things that stood out. And it's like, I gotta like, have you noticed any bathroom change, whether it's, through any part of this journey, whether it's the heart stuff growing up? I mean, like what's the bathroom sitch like on chemo?
Yeah. So growing up with a heart condition, I never really had anything different, like bathroom wise. That wasn't really
Yeah.
an issue for me. But with cancer,
Yeah.
it's a whole nother animal. So when you get chemotherapy is still like a radiating chemical
Hmm.
in your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
So for the first 48 hours after I get chemo, I'm not allowed to be around my wife or my son.
Whoa. Okay.
Actually, I can be around Jess now, but when she was nursing, I couldn't be around her.
Right. Right.
And I can't be around anybody under the age of 18 for the
Wow.
first 48 hours because their body, like, if they did touch, like, my sweat or I coughed or something like that, it can burn them.
Oh my gosh. Really? I did not
Yeah.
know that. That's wow.
Yeah. So, and I have a really funny story.
Yeah.
So I find out that I have these things that life has blessed me with because of cancer, and so I call them superpowers,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though they're not. One of them being mosquitoes and bugs can smell the chemo and don't touch me,
There you go.
which
You take the wins where you can find them,
yeah,
I
it's a
suppose. Like,
win.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I have a pretty big lot at our house. We live on an acre, and
Yeah.
we have a big fenced backyard. And I was doing some yard work one day, and I was like, "Man, I have to pee."
Yeah.
And I just kind of looked over, and I said, "I wonder." And I saw a weed, so I peed on the weed, and like
No way.
within hours, it was dead.
No way. That okay. And it's just the radiation of it all, like
But yeah, so it's
the
the
chemical?
leftover chemo chemicals, yeah, in my body.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm a weed killer.
I was gonna say, dude, you're being weed killer. That's wild.
Yeah, so the superpowers, right?
Dude, man, I not like bottle. This is weird, but like I wouldn't make a show about bathrooms without being. But like, dude, you could bottle this and sell like quote unquote organic. I don't know if that's still technically true, but like
Yeah,
organic weed killer. It's like, hey guys, don't
homebrewed.
ask what it is. Yeah, it's home brewed. It okay. I got a bajillion now. But is the pee a different color?
Yeah, it's darker.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
always darker. Even if I'm hydrated, it's darker.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, dude.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you tell Jess about that?
Oh, yeah. She was like, "That's funny." And I was like, "Yeah, it is really funny, actually." So, because I was like, I was just curious, and so I did, and that's what
Yeah.
happened was it died. So, yeah.
Now you got to be careful though, because if you ever tried to like just pee on a spot that you didn't want dead, it's going to be like, gosh darn it.
Mhm. Yeah. I gotta
I've
keep it in the back
bungled
of
the
my head
lawn.
now.
Yeah, I've bungled the lawn. No,
Yeah.
man. So, okay. Was there any other sort of, bathroom peculiarities? Like, does it give you, like, not to be crass, but like, does it give you diarrhea?
Oh, it gives you all the things. It gives you diarrhea, constipation, stomach pain. It gives you sometimes you can get incontinence because of it.
Okay. Yep.
Sometimes you can get so backed up that like just nothing will come out, all that kind of stuff. And it just depends on what chemo you're doing because there's thousands
Right.
of them.
Right.
So mine, the main thing is diarrhea, and then the other one is constipation on that side effect list. So they're like, you could either be stopped up or you could just be losing everything.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
kind of And
Oh, what a joy to balance.
yeah, and one of the things that chemo does is it also like harms your other organs in your body
Right.
to a
Right.
certain extent because it is poison. I try to use my best radio announcer voice when people are like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I'm like, "I'm going on in to get my regularly scheduled dose of poison." Like, you just try to be as jokester about it as I can.
Oh
But
gosh.
so one of the other changes with the bathroom that comes with chemo
Yeah.
is during that quarantine period, I have to flush twice. So if I use the
Okay.
restroom, either one, if I use number two, number one, if I flush it once, there's still a possibility. They said that testing has shown them there's a possibility of the radiation just sticking within the bowl.
Whoa.
And so you flush again to like pull everything out of the bowl so that the next
Man.
person that sits down isn't like sitting over top of all these radiating chemicals.
That's
So,
wild.
yeah, basically Iron Man, and I fell into a vat.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, and you've experienced both the stopped up and the going too much with yours, or has it been,
Yep, both
dude,
extremes.
that's just unfair. Like it really,
You're like,
because
pick one.
exactly, because then I imagine, my wife's had some, like, stomach-related stuff in the past, nothing to that extreme, I'm sure, but, like, she's had stuff where it fluctuates, and it's like, honestly, if it was just one, I feel like I could, but I don't know which one it's gonna be today, like, what are we gonna do today? And I imagine that's a chore.
Yes, yeah,
Just
it
yeah.
is. And one thing that chemo did do was it damaged my pancreas.
Oh,
So
okay.
your pancreas is what creates the enzymes to break down your
Yep,
food.
yep.
And so I, at one point, just started bleeding out the back.
No.
Yeah, just copious amounts of blood. I had to get
Really?
4 full units of blood one time when I went into the hospital.
Oh, that much blood had come out, like, the SS backside?
Yep. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
dude,
and it was quick, like, it was like, I went to the bathroom the first
gosh.
time, I looked down, there was nothing but red liquid, and then for, like, the
Nope.
next hour after that, I was like, "Okay, maybe it's just once," and I, like, Jess's dad is a paramedic, and they live
Yeah.
here with us now most of the year, and so, um, I told him, I was like, I need you to come look at something," and then I took
I
a
need you to come
picture
to the
of it.
bathroom.
Yeah, I took a picture of it, which sounds really weird, but
Not on this show, it doesn't.
yes.
I'll promise you that.
And then I sent it to one of my dad's old bosses who used to be in
Gosh.
oncology. And I said, "Hey," she's like another grandma to me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "Hey, Melody, this is what happened. What do you think?" She was like, "You need to go get a colonoscopy." And I was like, "Great." She was like, "You may even need an endoscopy," which is the top end.
Yeah.
So we tried to look for somebody locally that would do it, and nobody was comfortable with it because of my heart condition. And
Oh my
so I
gosh.
never got that done. I ended up in the hospital a few times because of bleeding. So they put me on a medication that just coats the lining of your stomach.
Yeah.
That way, if there's any like small ulcers that are bleeding or anything like that, it kind of seals them over.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, so that was a fun change. And then because of the whole pancreas thing,
Yeah.
for a good month, I was not gaining any weight and I
Mm.
was kind of fluctuating down slowly and we were trying
Right.
to figure out
Yeah.
why. And every single day for a few months was nothing but diarrhea. And it was just liquid. There was nothing else. I
Yeah.
was losing all my water. I was losing all the protein. I was losing everything.
Man.
And so we finally ended up at a GI specialist and they did a test and they said, "So your pancreas doesn't create the enzyme anymore. So we're going to give you the enzyme to take. So now if I have a meal, I have to take 3 pills."
Pancreatic enzymes?
Yep. It's called
Yep.
Prion, is
Yep.
what it
Yeah.
is. Yep.
My wife's dabbled in them.
She's dabbled.
Yeah. They're weird, like,
They are. They look like
strange.
little pills filled with pellets. That's what I tell people. It's like hamster pellets.
Yeah, kinda.
But I
Has that
carry
helped?
them. It does. Oh, yeah. Ever since I got that, like, no issues,
Well, there
which
you
is
go.
perfect. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so glad that we went and did that because I was like, heck yeah, like let's make
Yeah.
this happen. So any other little problems that I can solve besides the cancer is like
Yeah.
just a little win for me.
Dude, it's very, like, you telling that account and, like, the way you responded to, quote, "all blood in the toilet" is such a just if there was, like, an isolation of, like, yeah, this man's dealt with some health concerns, the way you respond to that is, to me, the indicator. Because if I went and I stood up, took a peek, and I saw honestly, if I saw any amount of red, I'm probably heading straight to the ER. Like,
Hmm.
and that's where I'm at. Like, I don't think I would handle that well at all. And so, like, for you to be like, "Oh, let's see if it happens again." I'm like, "Good night."
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, I'll give it a couple hours. If I go to the bathroom again, then yeah, I'll go in or whatever. If
w
it like just
man.
keeps bleeding, and so I gave it a time frame of an hour. And I said, if within the hour I
Wow.
go again or more than once, then I'm gonna go in. And I think I used the bathroom like 6 times within that hour, and everything was just blood.
Man, dude,
And
that is wild.
yeah, they
I
sent me
have
to the
no
ICU because of it. So it was
that's I don't even have diarrhea of any frame. Like I have not even had that as a frame of reference for that frequency, let alone the contents. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, I call it the fighting chair because I've done some fighting in there for sure.
The fighting chair. Yes.
Yes.
Just one more name in my belt of names for where I sit so
For the
frequently.
porcelain throne. Yep.
Oh, dude. Like for the longest time, people thought like, oh, the whole from a bathroom things are I am truly on my toilet right now. Like,
Well, there you go.
yeah, I tell the kids at the high school I work at, I was like, I really like, you guys understand, I sit on the toilet a lot. Like, and not necessarily doing activities that are toilet related, but like I am in there a lot.
You're like, I'm just on the toilet a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not like allowed to tell them as much. Like if they ask, I can tell them. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like, proselytizing. You can't like self promote, but it's like, yeah,
I have a podcast.
yeah, I've got a podcast. Why are you in the bathroom? It's kind of hard to explain.
That's kind of what it's about, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's the joke that never stopped.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
I have a bunch of questions.
Yeah, just fire away. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire away. And if as we go, you're like, oh, I actually have some stuff I need to say about that. Feel free to stop me.
Yeah.
And these are like, they're low level. What first is like, what is y'all's ideal go-to toilet paper there at your house? What do you guys prefer?
So since cancer, it's changed.
Okay.
We used to get like the Costco Kirkland brand or like
Yep,
the Sam's. We have Sam's Club here, not Costco.
Yes.
And so it was always the Members Mark brand. And then when I got diagnosed, we have now gone to Quilted Northern 3-ply Ultra Soft.
Yes.
Because of the amount of time that I spend in the bathroom. And that and dude wipes.
Dude. Praise be to the dude wipes. I'm telling you. I've got my Dumpkin Spice
Your
on
Dumpkin
deck.
Spice.
Like,
That's awesome. I have the non-scented camo ones.
Okay, yeah.
And then I do the mint chill ones as well.
Ooh, mint chill sounds like it would be an adventure.
It is. It's got like
Cooling?
a little tiny bit of menthol, so it's like just a little bit of that.
I'm gonna seek that out.
It's a good time.
I bought a 12-pack of the Dumpkin Spice, and I'm working through them slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be that mint chill. That's gonna be, I think, a future purchase for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Quilted Northern, do y'all fold it over or under? Like beard or mullet is really like how people.
It's definitely a beard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that one of those where you're like, this is the right way, or is it just like it's how it happens?
So the way I was always taught how to replace the toilet paper in a bathroom growing up, because when we were getting taught how to do chores, we were told that toilet paper that doesn't touch the ground is always better.
Yes.
So if you do mullet style, it has more of a chance of slowly over time just falling to the ground and then being dirty, and you can get sick from that. And so I've always just done it the other way because there's less likelihood of it falling down and over. Even if it does fall down, it still has to like keep unrolling itself to do that. So
yeah, it's got a lot more to overcome to get to that point.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. So
okay. Yeah. Is Jess in agreement on that? I know like sometimes couples, they're like, no, this is a point of contention.
Yeah, no, she agrees. When we got married, it was kind of like we did it the same way, and it was like, oh, cool, that's not a fight, sweet.
Yeah,
or
like
we don't have to
set the ground rules on
yeah. Yeah. So that was good from the beginning on that one. That was pretty good. But and so it's really funny because growing up, my dad, I like to call him what I call a gravity pooper. So he doesn't push; he just lets gravity do the work for him.
Okay.
And so if he has to go to the bathroom, we called it camping.
Yeah. Oh, he's in there for a minute or two.
Like an hour or two sometimes. Like he'd be in there looking at a hunting magazine. Like that was what he was doing.
Dad, why you got all this literature next to the bathroom?
What's all this literature?
If only you knew.
Yeah. And then my grandfather got me a joke book that was bathroom jokes.
Yeah.
That I always had on our toilet in the kids' bathroom growing up, and so that was fun. But yeah, my entire family on my dad's side, they always take forever to go to the restroom. I don't know what it is.
Like,
I don't know what it is.
Just let gravity do it.
Yeah, it
I'm
must
impatient.
Yeah, that some people like to get on with their lives, and some people are psychopaths. So, or they just have way too much time on their
Yeah,
hands.
just wait it out. Like I don't know. I start to get worried about myself and my family if I'm like, I mean, I have been in here for 10, 15 minutes. I wonder if they think I'm okay. And
You're
I
like, what
haven't
do they
heard
think is going on in
and
here?
and they haven't checked on me at all. Like maybe they're not okay. Like,
Yeah.
huh, okay, dude, gravity. That's. Do you prefer bar soap or liquid soap?
For hand washing
I leave that up to
or
the
showering.
guest. Yeah, see, I leave that up to the guest for their response.
So for showers, I use Duke Cannon.
Let's go.
For washing my hands, whatever my wife bought at Bath and Body Works.
Dude, I think we're strangely synced up on this because just the dude wipes, the Duke Cannon, the whatever. Yeah, summer citrus, whatever's in that. Like truly
Yeah.
the Costco pumper. Okay. Have you ever been a liquid soap in the shower guy?
So I mean, for shampoo and conditioner and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But right now, I actually use Duke Cannon's shampoo puck that they have.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yep,
a
yep.
little rub on, and then you just
Yeah.
But for a while, I was just like, yeah, whatever my wife has in the shower, that's what I use. So
Yeah.
yeah. That's one of
Did
the
you ever-
benefits of being married is you don't really have to worry about buying hair products because they're
That's
just
right.
around.
Yeah, and I don't know, sometimes they test them like, I'm not really a fan of this shampoo. And I was like, I know who will be because it's already been paid for. It's me.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
We
know
have
what is it?
12 in one. What's this one? It only does one thing. It makes your hair smooth.
Yeah,
my
it's
conditioner can cook oil.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It removes the paint on the edge of the shower. No.
Yeah. They used it to take shells off of ships back in 1843. And that recipe has just continued on and on.
Have you ever carved Jess or anybody else in your life a message in the bar soap?
So I've never actually carved soap. That's
Okay.
actually something that's really funny. There was a movie, I don't remember what movie it was, but this guy carves a bird out of soap and then puts it in his pocket and tries to go surprise this lady, but it rains. And so he just reaches into his pocket and it's just soap suds that come out. He's like, well, it was a bird.
Well, this is awkward.
Yeah. So no, I've never actually carved soap before. Yeah.
Me neither. I just,
Yeah.
somebody at one point asked me, it's like, hey, have you ever gotten a message on a bar of soap? And I went, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, no, I used to carve messages to my brother when we shared a shower when growing up. And I'm like, that's crazy. I got to start asking people.
Yeah.
Nobody has except for him. So here we are.
Well, that might be something he should talk to his therapist about.
Yeah. Or maybe his brother.
Or his
did you ever
brother,
get my
yeah.
messages? I asked him, I said, do you know if he ever read them? Oh, I have no idea. I was like, you did it and you never said, hey, did you get my message? You're killing me right now.
That's the bit you commit to, though, because if you admit that it was you, then they know.
That's right. That's right. Keyton, how do you feel about baths?
Ooh, I love a good bath.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually really funny. My dad's a nurse, and
Okay.
baths growing up would fix everything.
Really? Okay.
So you had a migraine, you can go lay in the bath, have a Coke and Tylenol. Your stomach's upset, just go lay in the bathtub and turn on hot water and drink some peppermint tea. And it was always the remedy plus a bath growing up.
Yeah. Huh.
Was the approach that we took. And then especially with muscle pain and all that kind of stuff, growing pains, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The warm water and all that kind of stuff. So.
Interesting. Yeah. I want to be a bath guy, but I'm not there.
You're not there.
I get in my own head about it. Is it human soup? And what am I if it is? And it almost gets existential to me in a way that is not helpful. But yeah, my wife's big on baths and she's like, just try it. It's nice. I'm like, yeah.
Do you like hot tubs?
No, I don't.
So it's
I'm
just hot bodies of water. You just don't like sitting in them.
I'm even weird about pools.
Okay.
Give me a lake, give me a stream, even the ocean, no problem. I'll get up in that. It's something about the fact that it's nature and it's already gross or it's moving. But man, my kids love the pool. So it's well, we're going in and I've got to get past this, but it's just weird. I'm crypto, do you get all sorts of weird bacteria? Nobody ever gets everything fully clean.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave that there.
Okay.
Do you have any bathroom pet peeves, like things that either, often it's the spouse, but sometimes, growing up, whether you have siblings or whatever, do you have anything that people do that just drives you up a wall in the bathroom?
I have two things.
Perfect.
I have PTSD from my childhood because I was in charge of cleaning my brother and I's bathroom. That was one of my
Okay.
chores. And my little brother, I kid you not, would spit loogies into the sink and just leave it there. And so it would dry
It gets
at the bottom
crusty
of
and
the
weird.
sink. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
gross. And then he would also just let the toothpaste get all over the counter and not clean it up. Those
Yeah.
are my two main ones. And then I guess another mini one would be there's a toilet brush there for a reason. If you leave skid marks, clean that bad boy out. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to look at that. I mean, come on. Just be nice. Like,
Yeah. Just, sort yourself out.
yeah, because nobody will admit it, but like every time you go to the bathroom, you look down at the toilet first. Like, you just do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've said so many things about my bathroomy situation on this show in the last 6 years that it's like people could probably make a graph of my like movements.
Like,
I track them.
They could track your schedule at this point. Yeah.
Well, they can track my location because I've got an app where I can I log every time I go poo and where I was at to do it. And so truly, like, people know that 2.5 hours ago, I was at Fred Meyer.
Yeah.
He's like, what's he doing? Oh, I see. I see now.
Yeah, the Albany Fred Meyers is a good poop spot. I will give you that.
It is when your wife goes, "Hey, we need limes. You think you could stop and get some limes?" And I'm like, really trying to get home to like get set up, but yeah, I'll get some limes. And then I walk through the door and I go, well, glad this hit for the afternoon.
Right.
I'm not going to make it home for that.
You're like, I will see you in 3 days, honey. I'm going to be in the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a restaurant or an eating establishment that messes you up the worst as far as the bathroom?
So because of cancer and everything, a lot of foods do mess me up.
Yeah.
I do actually have a recent story. So being down here in Mississippi, I have some friends from Louisiana, and they down there, them Cajun folks.
Yeah.
They eat some different food. That is for sure.
When it is spicy.
I don't know if you've ever tried boudin.
Mm-mm.
It's like a rice sausage with chicken liver and all sorts of different stuff in it. It's actually really good.
Okay. Chicken liver's given me pause, but
yeah, so it's actually really good. You can't taste it. Like, it just tastes like a good sausage. Like, that's what it tastes like, but it's got a different consistency because it's got rice in it.
Right. Huh.
And apparently that Cajun delicacy destroys me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
of course, it's the stuff
a full
that's
week.
good.
A full week of diarrhea from that one. So, and that was even with taking my Creon pills. So,
Yeah.
and one of the things, if you go into our bathroom, it's really funny. We have all these bins and they're labeled. So like one says pain, one says as needed, one says daily. And then there's an entire one up in the corner that just says tummy. And it's
The
everything.
tummy bin.
Yeah, it's everything from stool softeners to Lamodal, which is a heavy-duty anti-diarrheal. And then we've got like Miralax up there. We've got
the classics.
And like and it deals with like nausea stuff too, but like it's more like everything that has to do with your stomach that's in that box. And so, you got your Pepto, you got all your different things for your ailments of the stomach and digestive system. So we are very well stocked in bathroom support meds.
The tummy bin that might be the move.
And honestly, it is.
The bins is honestly good because like I open ours and it's an absolute disaster wasteland to find what's going on in there. It's like, I think we have that. Let me look. And then you're rifling for an hour.
Yeah.
Have you ever, okay, so a couple questions related to the shower.
Yes.
Have you ever taken a dark shower?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like just with no lights?
Yep. Shower with no lights on.
Yep. Yeah. So actually, with a lot of the pain that I get from the cancer is in my lower back. And so I've actually spent a lot of time in the shower, sometimes in the middle of the night. And with sharing a master suite with my wife, I mean, I
Yeah.
kind of have to. I have
Boom,
to
hit
just
the light in the
be
middle.
no lights.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done it a few times.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you like it at all with the lights off?
I mean, it just at that point when I have the lights on and I'm in pain, I just close my eyes and put my head against the wall and let the water hit my back. And
Yeah,
so
okay. Yeah.
it just kind of feels like I have my eyes closed when it's
Yeah,
dark.
it's interesting because, like, to me, the dark shower is almost a delicacy where it's like um, sensory deprivation chamber type effect of the thing where it's interesting because yours and mine started in that, like, "Well, I don't wanna wake Anna up," like, but yours is more "Well, I prefer the lights on, but this is out of necessity," like,
Hmm.
it's fascinating coming at it from a different end there.
Yeah.
And then, have you ever eaten an orange in the shower as if it was an apple?
So not an orange, but I have eaten apples in the shower. Back when I used to drink beer, nothing would beat a
Yeah.
shower beer. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a good time. It always
Dude.
felt extra refreshing in the shower. So I've done that, and I brush my teeth in the shower. Not a lot of people
Okay.
brush their teeth in the shower, but that's one thing that I do.
Okay. And it just spit straight down
I
the
just go
just
right down the drain and it washes it out.
do you have, like, the toothbrush rack in the shower too?
Yeah, so we have one for that's like magnetic for my wife's razor on one side of the shower, and then I've got like the little like holder one for on the other side.
That's
So
okay.
yeah.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, is the toothpaste in the shower?
Hmm.
Whoa, okay, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's a new world for me for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be interesting if I'm trying to think what I would do. Like, I
You should
guess
try it.
nothing 'cause but my toothbrush is like battery and and I'm like, "Am I
Hmm.
gonna flood this thing and make it not work?"
So I got
Um,
this one called a Quip.
dude, that's what I got.
Okay, so
Is it
that's what I
fine?
use in the shower, and it's fine.
Huh. Well, I might have to give it a shot then, because yeah,
Hmm.
we've got the whole Quip, hook it up to the phone. We did that to track the kids. It's like, "Are
See
you
if they're
doing it right?"
actually
Yeah,
brushing their
yeah,
teeth. Yeah. I know I've done the Quip one in the shower because it's like a lot of silicone everywhere. It's
yeah,
not like
yeah.
there's not really a lot of electronic parts. The
That's
bottom is
true.
where you
Yeah.
charge it. And so as
Yep.
long as you go to charge it and you just kind of wipe it off beforehand, you shouldn't have
Oh,
any
you got
issues.
a recharge job. I need to update. My Quip is old school. Like, it's got the AAA battery that they send me in the mail every month.
Oh, wow.
Or every 3 months, I guess, yeah.
That's cool.
Um, it still works though, like,
Yeah.
whatever they've got built into that, it's doing well. Huh, not a sponsor, but, like, Quip,
Hey, Quip,
good job.
hear me out.
And then the question that has kind of become the question that people are like, "Are you gonna ask them?" is Keyton, have you ever performed a waffle stomp?
I don't actually. Oh, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I
Okay.
have.
I was gonna say, I'm happy to explain the waffle stomp. I do have to explain it probably 75% of the time. Um,
I
and
can.
we'll explain it.
It
Yeah.
took me a second, but
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, and yes,
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long ago was that waffle stomp?
Those are like early teenage years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
it was kind of like out of necessity at one point.
Yeah. It always is, except for
Yeah,
the one time that I did it out of experimentation.
just to see.
Uh, well, I had never done one, and I was like, "Well, I gotta do it." Like, I can't keep
Mm,
asking people if they do it and never
and
have
then
done it.
have never tried it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I full sent it, and my wife was a little upset because it was in our apartment, and I'm like, "Listen, it's research."
Was she in the shower though too? Because I would be
No,
upset.
no. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay,
no,
yeah.
she was not. Huh.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. I was solo missioning it on that one.
Okay, well, good. At least you didn't like shoot others.
Dude, you've been very tame as far as like what people, because I had a dude, he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I just like pee on her." I'm like, "Stop. Just stop." He's like,
it's
"What?"
getting washed off
He's like, "We're
anyways.
married."
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, "Hey, it's still weird to me."
It is. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like,
It's
did
like,
she get
"Hey,
stung by a jellyfish? No. Why do you need to pee on her?
they're practicing for it. No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Getting my
okay, so
accuracy down.
yeah, so you have done the stomp. I'm glad that I don't get many. Most people, I'm probably saying like probably 10% of folks that have been on this show have been like, yeah, oh yeah. So that's cool, boosting
Yeah.
those stats.
Yeah. So I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to find an emergency pair of pants like in a store?
I hmm.
Like if you were sick
The
or you had like a bad
yeah,
stomach issue and
the closest I've ever got, and it wasn't necessarily pants, but I I did a risky fart when I was in college and I was mentoring and I was on my way home and coming down. I don't know if you know Salem, but Lancaster's a big main road down Salem.
Mhm.
And I pretty much had to go from one end of that to the other. And I'm like hitting every light, hitting every light. And my tummy's kind of I got the bubble guts going. And I kind of tried to sneak and I should not have because I did poo a little bit. And it was one of those where it's like, I'm definitely going to make it home, but I'm just uncomfortable in my car now. And I'm already late for dinner, so I, like, pulled into a Walmart and, like, grabbed a 3-pack of Hanes and then ran in the bathroom, swapped them, but it didn't go through onto the pants. That was my big worry, was like, "Oh gosh, it's gonna seep through and get onto the pants, and then I'm gonna have to walk through the apartment complex and whatever," and I'm like, "No, no, no, I'm just gonna run in and change." So, I've had to do that, but never a full pair of pants. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to buy a pair of pants at TJ Maxx one.
Wait. So
Yeah.
again, was this post like cancer
Yeah,
and
yeah,
treatment? Okay. Well,
yeah,
and
it was.
you get a lot of you get a lot of grace and understanding, I think, based on the stories that have been told thus far. No one I don't think is gonna knock you on it, but like what an absolute gem of an expenditure to explain to your wife though, I bet, huh?
Oh, yeah, and then I have this card that I keep in my wallet. It says the cancer card. This card entitles the holder to get out of anything because they have cancer, and that's enough to deal with. And so
Just
if
like the guy
anybody
at
ever gave me
Walmart, you're the
crap for,
guy
like,
yeah.
pooping my pants in TJ Maxx, I'd have been like, "There
Yeah,
you
here you
go.
go. Like,
Here's my card."
dude, that man and TJ Maxx, what a pull.
It was not a bad bathroom for it, though. They're pretty clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
dude. I will tell you this: the Walmart bathroom is not.
Yeah.
It is not known for being much other than dirty and loud as people are screaming to get things out and listen to TikTok on their phone while they like
Like
every time I go to
blast, full
Walmart,
blast.
yeah, I'm like, even if you go into pee, there's always somebody in there on their phone. It's like, dude, put your AirPod in or like just wait till you're done. I don't know. That's probably one of my pet peeves. You mentioned some shower drank. Do you do any other bathroom snack? Like, you ever have like a toilet snack or anything?
So yeah, I don't know how comfortable you guys are with this, but I've worked myself off of painkillers as far as my pain, and so I use
Yeah,
THC for
yeah,
pain management.
yeah,
So sometimes I'll take a shower and I'll have a seltzer,
yeah.
and that gets me, hungry.
Oh yeah.
And I've eaten a full bowl of cereal on the toilet before.
Let Oh, what flavor? What flavor? I
Captain
have to.
Crunch.
Let's go, oh, man. So, some flavors of Captain Crunch will make you poop green.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes, they do.
Was that a follow-up?
There's actually a Halloween Captain Crunch that the milk turns green,
Oh,
and
yes.
that's always been the worst for me.
Oh, dude, I think you are the first. It's like, yeah, bowl of cereal on the toilet. Um,
Yep.
and I will be trying it. So, I do
Yes.
endeavor to attempt people's snack. And it's also not the wildest. I've had some wild ones. Steak in the shower was the specific statement. I'm like, under what circumstance does that
Yeah.
need to be a thing? And I
Yeah.
also had a guy, he's like, "Yeah, I love eat like ribs. If I can get like a couple ribs while I'm on the toilet." I'm like, "Dude, it's like the last place I want that much barbecue sauce." Just I but dude, bowl of cereal is a good pull.
Yeah. It was a good decision. The only thing is, it's a weird feeling to be filling up and emptying at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically what I kind of equate it to was I imagine that's how an airplane that is getting refueled midair feels like. It's like eating a bowl of cereal on the toilet while you're pooping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my analogy for the day.
That's perfect. That's awesome. And then so to kind of bring all of these like ridiculous questioning
Yeah.
and move towards a close here.
Yeah.
I always ask people to share bathroom wisdom with folks as an end, but I'm not going to have that be the end. But do you have any bathroom wisdom to share with people?
Man. I would probably have to go with, if you have to flush it twice, it was too much toilet paper.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's wise. That's wise. How many
Seemed
how many sheets do you roll with, like, for each wipe?
2, 3 squares.
2, 3 squares, and that quilted northern's thick.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I will admit, so I recently did, like, like, which toilet paper, and quilted northern was strong competitor, it was very thick. The Charmin Blue Bag Charmin did beat it out, only
Mm.
because the quilted northern roll didn't fit on my roller. It's so big. I had to,
Yeah, because
like
it's nice,
I
nice and
look
fluffy.
yeah, and I had to look it up. They sell an extension for the roll for it, and I was like, "This is crazy." But it was, like, definitely a second for me. There's just something about those bears. They have my heart and my bottom.
Your heart and your butt.
Yes. Um, but Keaton, I do want before I say bye,
Yeah.
I do want you so with doing all this stuff with Legacy Dad and you know, get lighthearted with the bathroom talk, but I do want you to kind of, you know, the legacy dad, the having a kid and having the diagnosis that you have, I can't imagine that that's anywhere near easy.
Yeah.
Um, you know, what would you say to parents, folks who have not similar? Because, like you said, you are currently a one of one.
Yeah.
But what would you say to folks who, as they look at their lives, like you probably have had to grapple with things that no person ever will? You know, nobody probably, I'll be honest, should have to. What would you say to parents, just folks struggling with those type things?
So I will probably the first thing that I would say, and it kind of comes out of a story. So when I got my terminal diagnosis, we decided as a family we were going to go on a trip together just because life's too short to not do those things, especially when you know the numbers. I mean, everybody should live that way. But we were at this resort. It was like a water park place. And I went to go get drinks for Jess, and her mom and dad came with us, and it was a fun trip. But I was walking through the pool area, and it was quarter mile from where the whatever was to the doors to go outside of the outside pool where they were at.
Right.
And I counted like some 35 dads
Scrolling.
scrolling while their wife was in the pool playing with their kids.
Yep.
And they were just sitting in a chair by themselves. So, number one, put your phone down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
At least once a day, put your phone down and just engage with your kids.
Yeah.
Ask them meaningful questions. Even if you don't think that they're going to be able to grasp it or understand it, our kids absorb so much more than we realize.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've been making it a point to tell my son every day that I'm proud of him. And the other night I was snuggling with him in bed and he throws his arms around me and he gives me a hug and he goes, "I'm proud of you, Daddy. You're
It's
strong."
awesome.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's what I tell you, buddy. Like, I'm glad that you hear it, you know. And then the second one is kind of just like a statement that I've kind of recognized throughout this whole experience. I've heard a lot of people say that they would die for their family.
Hmm.
But when dying is the only option you have, can you live for your family?
Yeah.
So I find that people have a more difficult time living for their family than they do sacrificing their life in that sense. And what
Yeah.
I mean by that is like, you know, if you like to golf, that's great. Have a hobby, but don't let it get in the way of intentional time and things like that. Because there are people out there who are not willing to change their routine to be around their families more,
Right.
but yet they'll
Right.
turn around and they'll say, "Well, you know, if somebody attacked us, I would give my life to save my family." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah. You give your life, but not your weekend, you
yeah,
know?
you'd give your life, but you're not willing to change your life for
Right.
them." And a big part of that is my faith. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that, you know, we can always be better. We can always be changing. We can always be doing something different. And one thing that this whole experience has taught me is what love really means.
Mm. Yeah.
I got a lot closer with my relationship with the Lord since I've had cancer. Him and I are pretty tight now. We talk pretty regularly, and I was doing this Bible study, and I ran into this guy talking about how Paul got up to heaven and looked at people in the eye that he murdered for their beliefs. And they said, "Man, we love you. We are so glad you're here. We prayed for you to be here."
Right.
And when I first heard that the first time, it broke me because I was like, that's the love he's talking about, and we can't even comprehend that.
Right. Right.
So I've asked this year specifically that the Lord give me the ability to see people the way he sees them.
Right. Yeah.
And it means, my time's not more valuable than yours. Yours is just as valuable as mine. And, if somebody cuts me off in traffic, maybe they were in a hurry.
Right.
They're not out to get me. Like I said earlier, nobody wakes up in the
Right.
morning and goes, I'm going to ruin Hunter's day. Like, I'm just going to be a jerk to that guy. and if somebody is doing that, you might have a problem.
Yeah.
But that's how we get serial killers and stalkers. But but yeah, mainly the advice that I have is just, you said in the beginning, make every moment count,
Mm-hmm.
and don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and change your
Right.
routines, because
Yeah.
it can actually make your life a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, Keyton, I appreciate you hopping on this
Yeah.
and sharing. I am going to be including links to Legacy Dad and the
Thank
stuff that you
you.
got going on social media. And I might even, I know that there was like an Amazon kind of support almost type registry.
Yeah.
No, registry is not the correct word, but
Well, it is set up as a registry just so that there's like a shipping
right.
address and stuff.
Right.
So
I'll make sure to I'll find that because I know it's out there, and I'll make sure to include that. And normally, I will say, when I end the show, I flush the toilet, and I will flush the toilet. But I'm not going to do all of my normal Privy spiel, brother. Can I pray for you before I flush this toilet and say goodbye?
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you.
Yeah, let's pray. Dear God, I just thank you for Keyton. God, I thank you for this time that we've had this last hour and a half or so here. Lord, I pray that he's facing a lot. His family is facing a lot with him. And God, I just pray that you would continue to strengthen him in his faith. Like he said at the beginning, we're praying for a miracle and planning for the things that happen. And God, we know that you're a God of miracles. And God, I pray that, that if that be your will, that we would see that and bear witness to your goodness. And if it not be your will, God, that we would recognize the love that you have for Keyton and for his family and for all those who've already been impacted and touched by his legacy in this life. And that we'd recognize your goodness in that. I thank you again for Keyton and his time. I thank you for Jess and their son and the time that they have allowed for this show to kind of step in for a bit. We ask these things in your son's name. Amen.
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 Thank you.
Well, dude, thank you. I'm going to flush this toilet. And yeah, I'll end the recording, and then I have a question. But yeah. Listeners, thank you for being here. Keep pooping in the free world, own your stank, and as always, don't forget to flush.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's good sound quality.